Hello, Abnormal Family. Got another drop for you. Allergies have been bothering me, so bear with me. I want to thank you all for your outstanding support of this channel, for hitting the like button on every channel. Smashing it right now helps so much. And I want to thank you all for last Monday night's live. We had a really great live. People are continuing to watch it, and I'm glad you all enjoyed it. And we appreciate your support in bringing our family back together. You guys have been awesome this week. We've had a lot of support. A lot of things have come to our P.O. box. It's helping so much, and a lot of you have done super chats and made donations, and it's just been an amazing week. So thank you all so very much, and let's get into this encounter. It was a cold, crisp Saturday morning in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. The birds were chirping and the animals were scurrying about. I had begun to pack up for a hiking trip with my friend Preston. I had gone inside my cabin to grab my water bottles and pack them up. Preston had been outside in the SUV waiting for me. "So tell me again, where are we going?" Preston had asked. He has gone hiking before, but to his own spot. He hadn't really gone anywhere else. Eagle Mountain, I had replied. Eagle Mountain was a 3.5-hour drive from Grand Rapids. We were going there to camp at a base at the mountains and begin hike the next morning. We had gotten to the base of the mountain at around 11 p.m. The sun was up, and it was casting a shadow on the trees. It was so beautiful and peaceful, but it wouldn't stay that way that night. We had set up camp at about a mile's trek away from the SUV. It was parked in a secluded area about a half a mile on the dark dirt road, and it stretched off one of the local roads. The doors were locked, and everything valuable was taken out. Preston had lied down on his sleeping bag, relaxing from the initial mile trek from the SUV, and I had lied down on mine, which was situated beside his. "What time shall we start tomorrow?" I asked Preston. He was an experienced hiker. This was only my second time. He said, "Let's do 5 in the morning. You'll need a flashlight," he had suggested. I nodded and enjoyed the rest of my day in the tent. 5 o'clock came, and we were up hiking through the woods, the sound of twigs and leaves crunching beneath our feet. We had walked about 3 miles before we began to hear something. We had stopped moving, and we could still hear another set of footsteps behind us. He had looked behind us into a tree, and he didn't see anything, but we did end up hearing things that were not natural. But we didn't see anything there. We had continued to walk, thinking it was just an animal. It was now mid-afternoon. We had hiked another 5 hours, and it was getting pretty dark. I had heard something behind us, that same set of footsteps. I had suggested we walk faster as we picked up speed. So did the other footsteps. We got to a small clearing and decided to set up camp. I fell asleep almost instantly. Preston and I were awoken in the early hours. It was about 3 in the morning, by the sound of rustling branches and leaves. The snaps of the wood echoed through the forest. We looked around us with the flashlight and caught the glimpse of a large black mass darting into the trees. We had no idea what it was, and we had no intention to either. We had begun to quickly pack up, and right before we headed out, we nearly ran into it. The weird thing is, it was about 4 foot tall, with black and gray fur along the sides and tops of its body. Its head resembled that of a large dog, of a wolf, almost. It had teeth jetting out from the upper jaw, extending half an inch below the lower jaw. Our light beams had shone directly on its eyes, reflecting a greenish-yellowish ray, almost that of a cat at night. It was hard to make out the distance, but we knew that it was there, and looking at us. It leapt into the bushes, and immediate right of it, one large bound. In no time we were high-tailing it through the thick, dense trees, trying to make our way back to the car, which would be a grueling 12-hour hike away. We stopped to catch our breath, and we began to walk again. The noise didn't follow, and we had decided to just leave our base camp and just leave. We had gotten back to the SUV, and what we saw will forever haunt us. It was a large claw mark across the right passenger side of our door, extending to the tire. The tires were unharmed, but my SUV was scratched deeply. The mark was about 3 feet long, on each claw was about an inch apart. The mark was long and noticeable. I eventually got home that night, and nothing further had happened. What do you think happened? I believe these creatures, like I said before, they're very curious. They will stalk you. They will follow you. They look for opportunities to attack, I think. Like I've always said, I believe that they're opportunistic, and if they get an opportunity, they will use it. If they don't, they won't. It sounds like you probably had a juvenile that was following you. Might have been practicing stalking and stuff. I believe they do practice. And it might have been preparing, for future hunts, or you might have been the first hunt if something would have happened. Um, I would say y'all were pretty lucky to get out of there. Always carry something to defend yourself with. I've even thought about now, guys, whenever I go fishing, telling y'all what I do, and maybe y'all might want to do it, is I will face lights about 30 yards from me, facing away from me and out, floodlights. That way I'm lighting up the back behind me from the water's edge and a half moon circle to the other water's edge. I have a complete lit up area. And I've noticed now that when I fish, that light does keep it at bay, and it does keep it out there, out of the light, and it allows for me to have a peaceful night of fishing. And then when we go to sleep, I will take the lights. They have a dimming, where I can dim them down once, and I'll dim them down, which still puts out light to where you're able to see, and it will keep things at bay. So I would suggest using lights, and if you have, tree cameras, I might set those out too. I think all that stuff would even work in a camping trip, Keep your area lit. Doesn't have to be super bright, but bright enough to where it knows it can be seen, and which makes it feel like, it's not safe or welcomed. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you on the next one. Don't forget this Saturday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Is it 9 o'clock? I might have done 7. I don't remember. You'll have to check. We're going to have a premiere, and we're going to join each and every one of you in the chat, and I hope you all enjoy it. And until next time, guys, be safe, keep your head on a swivel, and don't be something's dinner.